having engaged. No. Asset-based community development is teaching us to use the resources that we have to make the best out of it. So we will be coming back to Makakula in April, engaging with different sectors. Then when we get to a space, if we are having everyone who is in the space of community safety, we sit in this ward, we engage with them. We say, today we have everyone who said they are interested in participating in the conversation that will better the community safety plan of this ward. So we will be having stakeholders from community safety. We will also be having community members who are interested to participate in the community safety sector. Then we'll be having flip charts. We say, come, let's talk. What is it that we have in this ward that can assist us improve or develop a community safety plan? Then everyone will throw in their wish list and everything. No, we have a space there that is not used, and it's collecting grass and everything else, and we might want to get that space to be converted to a park. Then we look at what is it that you can do as a community. Then Ubabu Stole stands up and say, I can assist with cutting the grass. Then Ubabu Dlamini comes and say, I can assist with putting the fence around there. Then we ask, what is it that you cannot do but you want to do? They say, we don't have the resources to put the fence. First, we identify that land. Who does it belong to? Is it a land that can be utilized by the community? Then once we know what control we have over that space, we assist the community. So the community would have put their wish list that that space needs to be converted to a park. Then we say our 3 months plan is to convert that space to a park. If it's doable, it's on our plan. We look at what are the thorny issues. Communities will be saying, we have a challenge of people who are stealing pipes and everything else, and we think maybe they are service users, and maybe they have an addiction. Maybe they can come and say, we know them, but we don't know how to assist them. Then we ask the community, what do you think needs to be done? Then they come up with their own recommendations, and then we come up with what we know as presented by the Premier in the State of the Province address to say, in the focus area of rehabilitating the service users, these are the options that are there. Then we say, okay, this is what we can do in that space. Then we look at what is the other thorny issue. They're saying, okay, children are knocked down by cars as they're walking across the street, going to the school. I'm just making examples here. Then someone says, I'm a retired police officer. I don't mind, every day at 2 o'clock, I'll be working with the community safety marshals and the peace officers, assisting the children to cross the streets, you know. So we develop a community safety plan. We identify the thorns that are affecting the community and how are we hearing from the community, what are the dreams that they're looking at, what is it that can be done to take away those thorns. Then from there, we have a community activity plan. A community activity plan, it has timelines that this is how we are going to implement the safety plan of the ward. That is the part of the community. Then you identify the stakeholders that are there in the ward and the resources. We say we've got NGOs that are dealing with crime prevention, child safety, a lot of things in the community safety space. Do we know all of them? If I wake up today, accidentally I find out that someone was raped, do I know where's my green door? Do I know who's the social worker in the ward? So we need to create a database of all services that are available in the ward so that we know that you can call one person and connect to the whole ward. Then that stakeholder database, it also comes in then it comes into the community safety plan. So we say, these are the stakeholders that we have, these are our strengths that we have, these are our aspirations, this is what we want to see happening in this area. Then we come back and say, there is a community development worker in Ward 62. But James cannot be the one who goes from one corner of the ward to the other. We need to activate the communities themselves to have block committees. Then we know that when we have block committees, they are working and connected to the ward committee of the ward. Then when the block committees identify challenges, we have a network that will feed into the ward committee and the CDW. The ward committee members will be able to report the challenges to the ward councillor. All community workers involved, they are able to report to their department through their supervisors. Then what do we do with that information when we have it? As COGTA, it's our responsibility to facilitate cooperative governance. So in the next 2 months, you will hear that we would have created an intergovernmental service delivery forum that is coordinating the key departments in the elevated priorities, ensuring that when the problems are raised from the ground, what cannot be resolved, it's brought to this forum and resolutions are activated. But it's not only problems. Departments plan, and their plans sometimes, you find that they're not talking to the demands on the ground. A certain department might just think, no, I'm thinking, I saw there it's sports, let's put a sports ground, a netball ground. But do this community need a netball ground? Then we need to align the plans of departments with this community-based plan that we would have developed. Then once that is aligned, we would have 3 structures where we know that there is active citizenry, there is planning, and there is monitoring. In that way, when the 70 cars come to the ward, if a person takes the car to do grocery shopping, a community member must be able to speak to the block committee member to say, I'm seeing this. That person elevates it to the next person, who either the ward committee member or the CDW, and they report to me. I'm able to call and verify the information so that all the resources that are brought into the community, they are used to assist the community, not individuals. Right now, there is a plan that the Premier wants to bring that is presented on the State of the Province address. But is the community ready for that? It is our responsibility to make sure that we translate what the State of the Province is saying and what would be the role of the community in that. Because the drones might be there. People might think social media brings panic. They might start a rumor to say, you know, these drones are coming to do this and this and that. Then people might respond negatively. It is the responsibility of the community block committees to make sure that those engagements take place, so that when interventions come, community members can own their assets and take them as their own. Instead of vandalizing the assets, communities must understand that when you are destroying the asset that is brought for you, you are destroying your own opportunity and your own possibility. And we need to begin engaging with communities. I like using the example of July 2021. It's not a nice thing, but if you bring it to the realization to say, people went and vandalized post offices. Today, our grandmothers or our mothers, they cannot go and access the grant at the local post office. They must catch 2 taxis to go and collect money. Who is suffering? It's the community. So a community needs to be in a space, they need to come on board in terms of asset appreciation. Because if you look at what is happening in the whole of Ekurhuleni, most of the robots now are going back to stop sign. All the traffic lights are vandalized or stolen, and we know these people who are committing this crime. in the community, but we are scared. If I report this, I'm going to be victimized. How do we break that cycle? Make sure that we take charge of our communities. There's people who we can actually report issues to. Yes, we understand that some people do not have control over the addiction and all that. There's a lot of elements that bring a person to that space. If we are rehabilitating the service users, but we are not closing the market, we are not doing good. It's like we're pouring water in a leaking bucket. So how do we begin to identify the issues? Do we have a police station in the area? Do we know the people who are the landlords? Oftentimes you find that the community knows when Nyaupe is sold, you know. But they feel that it's none of my business, or I can't intervene, and I can't intervene or interfere. Can we not try to move towards claiming our spaces and making sure that the community is back at a space where they feel safe, but they need to know that they also have a role to play? And I think I've spoken too much. Maybe let me just pause there. Can we engage for like, what time is it now? Let's engage until 10:30, and then we can go to the field. Can I maybe pause there and then allow any engagement? Questions, points for clarity, and okay. Okay, a person who wants to ask something needs to come close to me. Okay, it was Ntate Takalo, my colleagues from Community Safety. You can come, and then senior citizen, you noted. Okay, here with me I've got James Takalo. James wants to ask something.
Yes, I want to ask the size of the ward, since the ward is so big, and then here we are in terms of the numbers. Is it going to be a session where we break according to the areas of the ward? That's what I wanted to.
The question James is asking is the approach on how we are going to be going out to the field. Because the ward is big, are we going to break into groups, or we're gonna go into one area? And I think there were teams that were set up in Davidton, and there were team leaders. So I think James will guide us, but it will make sense if we move in a structured approach, so that we know that if we can cover this area that is starting from this street to the other street, so that if we don't finish, when there's a need for us to come back, we know we start from this one and we go that side. So I think we will have to look at those dynamics. I have a colleague. Please introduce yourself from Community Safety.
Sanibonani. Igama lami nguLindo Kuhlenkosi, ngibuya ku Community Safety under EMPD. So my question is, uthi ke kunabantu ekumele sireporte kubo ama-police station aseduze, but unfortunately amaphoyisa thina esiwaziyo asebenza nabo labantu laba ama-drug lords. So leyo ngicabanga ukuthi sizoyilungisa njani.
Okay. You heard that, colleagues, right?
Sanibonani. Igama lami uJava Sibubu. Ngibuye community safety under EMPD. Mina ngicela ukubuza is this initiative, is it the first time or is it a project? Because regarding sports and recreation, the community has been complaining about maintenance of sports facilities. It's been years. It's not something that just happened this year or last year. So I have a concern, and like you are worried that always we are being told about the budget. So all these years, the minister or whoever is responsible for the budget Is it the first time to hear that the community needs sports facilities to be maintained?
Okay. All right, these are the questions that we will be getting from the communities as we go. And colleagues are from here, they know the challenges. And I think it's beginning to give us a sense of what to expect when we get to the communities. So this requires, it gives me, I don't have answers, but it gives me a space to say, before we have those sessions with the communities in April, we need to meet as stakeholders and map up a plan to say, should this question come, this is how we would want to respond, or maybe guide the community to guide us as to how to respond to it. So today we may not have answers, and you can't go into a household and say, I'm here for community asset mapping, you can't ask me questions. You need to be able to respond to say, the reason why we are here today, we are starting a project that will get us to engage continuously with communities. So we want the community who are interested in a specific sector, put down your name so that we are able to call you and say, in April, here's a date. We are focusing on community safety sector. We are focusing on sports sector. Then the community itself will have to come up with a plan on how we are going to address the matter of the police station that is not responsive. For a police station that works with the criminals, then we look at what are the challenges. Then we will be able now to take a report from the community. It's not going to be Ufigile or James who says the police are working with the criminals. But it's a report that we're getting from the community. Mina, I'll be taking it to community safety and say, what 62 communities say, this is what the problem is, and we want clarity. At that level, we will be able to engage with the station commanders or whoever it is and work on how we resolve the community challenges. Senior citizen. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be a senior citizen. Okay, please speak up for the...
If you find challenges, it's our report and
Yes.
the office of the prima user team, how is it resolved?
Okay. All right, colleagues, the question from Mr. Eddie Mukwena is that the USSD challenges, we report them, we log them into the system. Like we've got a USSD string. All community development workers in the GBV brigades are loaded into the system. You use the USSD string, you dial *134 *47472 hash. Then it guides you step by step. I'll repeat it, don't worry. It guides you step by step on the service delivery challenge that you are reporting. So it's *134 *47472 hash. That can be used by a citizen, that can be used by a community worker. *134 *47472 hash. So it takes you to a step-by-step where you log in the case. If it's a service delivery specific, it's categorized. Is it water? Is it sanitation? Is it health? Then after that, colleagues, can we please have one meeting? After that, that information automatically goes to a system called Power BI. The supervisors of the GBV brigades and CDWs are able to extract that information. We are able to see that these are the cases that were loaded in Makakula. After that, after you would have loaded that case, the agreement, Office of the Premier is the one that is controlling the system. They used to take those cases and follow up with the municipality. There was a challenge to say, if the referrals come from the office of the Premier towards the municipality, it means that we have escalated. We mean that the municipality has not resolved the case. So the discussion, information that was shared and agreed upon is that let's start by referring the case to the customer care area. We are in Katlehong 1, 2. We are in Katlehong 2. So it means that service delivery challenges that we're going to come across, we need to be loading them, either my COE app, or if the system, James will guide us as to how does he usually refer his cases here. It's important to load the cases on the USSD after you would have reported it at the municipality. That eases the burden of the CDW having to do follow-up, because once you load it there, if the municipality has it on their system, Office of the Premier automatically takes that back to the city of Ekurhuleni to say, here are the cases that were loaded on your system. Please share the progress report.
I found this on the web for important to follow up because...
Sorry, technology, yes, disadvantageous sometimes. So basically, after the Office of the Premier would have contacted the municipality looking at the commitment, are these cases resolved, are they not resolved? When they get a commitment from the municipality to say this will be resolved whenever, they document that all. Then if maybe there's a case that is not resolved, Office of the Premier comes back, and no, the one that says resolved, sorry. The ones that are resolved, they come back to the CDW to ask if, was this case resolved, because the municipality has recorded it as resolved. Sometimes you find that maybe it was a system error. There are cases that sometimes were reported as resolved, but they are not resolved. So that is why you hear Office of the Premier, call center people always calling. It's a quality assurance process that we are doing to make sure that what is reported as resolved is resolved. So I would like to urge the patience of the colleagues, because sometimes it causes frustration to say, if I'm the one who loaded the case, why are you calling me to ask if it's resolved? It's part of quality assurance, because a community member gets the same. If they loaded the case, they get the same call that says, please make sure that you report back when the case is resolved, so that if it's not resolved, we go back to the municipality. In the space, there's challenges where areas, like we are here today in Makakula, maybe 2 months down the line, you will be receiving a phone call asking you about a case in Makakula if it was resolved. Please don't get upset, because you would have loaded it here. Let's just try and be patient and understand. The system is helping us a lot, because now we are able to just press with the finger, extract information, and account to the auditors if they ask us. And it validates the information that we're putting. So let's try and be patient. And I know that sometimes it causes frustration. So colleagues, are we clear? Are we ready to do the field work? So because when our communications communicated with the service provider, they didn't include the field work, but we just try and make means and look at maybe we will be able to get the team to come with us just to capture where we are doing. Obviously, we need to ask permission. People must agree if they would want their face showed. If they have a problem with that, then we respect every request that we come across. So I think for now, I need a team that will assist me to distribute the breakfast packs, but I just need to know how many are we so that we know that we do not run out of. Can you just do a quick count very fast? Ntsiki 1?
7, 8.
Prue? Sister Togo? 23, 24, 25, right? Everyone who's seated. Then, oh, Stalila. 26, 27. 35, 37, 40, 44, 45, 46, 48, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58,